this is a very serious matter which is being ignored by the mainstream media consistently, as we all know. And there certainly was an amount of frustration there. I'd given that speech in Parliament to the adjournment debate on the 13th of December. It had got no coverage in the press. I put out a press pack. I think there were 32 scientific papers and journals I referenced to back up all the facts in the 20-minute speech. It's got no media coverage. The good news is that about 3 days ago, on social media, it had hit 10 million views of that speech, and I think we set the criteria. You had to have watched it for at least 18 minutes of the 20 minutes to qualify. So it did get a lot of exposure, but clearly it's still being ignored by the mainstream media. But I mean, who actually came and attacked me over my remarks? I mean, Matt Hancock, former health secretary, Sajid Javid, former health secretary, Nadeem Zahawi, party chairman, and former vaccines minister. I mean, they've certainly, they've got some skin in the game, haven't they?
Yeah, fair point. And you mentioned the point there that you got 10 million views, and Project Veritas was saying the other day, James O'Keefe was saying, someone said to him, well, the mainstream media's ignored this video, and he said, well, who is the real mainstream media? Because this has 20 million views, so we're the mainstream now, just because the Daily Mail has taken it down. So yeah, you might have a point that actually the people have seen it. And maybe we're too harsh with this sort of gatekeeping on our side. I say our side, the normal people's side, call it conservatives, call it whatever you like, but basically we sort of have to worry so much about what we say and who we're associated with. Have you noticed this? Whereas on the left, you can have diet.
I mean, quite honestly, I think I've been on the radar for a long time. There's been a smear campaign against me for more than 12 months. So it's not incompatible that I've had a lot of negative personal attacks against me over the last 12 months, and I think, quite honestly, I would have been suspended from the party at the time for walking on the cracks in the pavement if it hadn't have been for that. What I will say is that although the tweet was controversial, I've had an awful lot of support from the Jewish community, not only just in the UK but from around the world. And I don't know, you probably haven't seen it, but I mean, yesterday, a letter signed, I think, by 27 leading doctors, Jewish doctors and scientists from around the world have written in very straight terms to Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, demanding that I'm immediately reinstated, and emphasising that those who falsely accuse people of anti-Semitism actually diminish anti-Semitism, and also they stated that in terms that the removal of free speech is the first sort of sign of a totalitarian government, which is clearly something that's very, very close to the Jewish community, and they wouldn't want to see that happening again. So it's a very interesting letter. I'm sure that we can supply you with a copy for putting out with this broadcast, if you like.